Please, please, we don't cry. We don't cry. We hardcore the whole way. We don't cry. You cry. We don't cry. Stop it. The women have already made the beer. Okay? The women have made the traditional beer. Stop it. I put the order in, my darling. Stop it. The Pisces is here. I make the beer. Stop it. We don't cry. We don't cry. I just put the headphones on, so I hope you guys can hear me better. Oh, my accent is changing, darling. Welcome to the time zones, my love. Welcome to the time zones. Mother lovers are very emotional. You know? They keep looking. I keep telling them, we don't cry. We don't cry. You cry, man. We never had an option. I'm just getting my incense, my loves. Just getting my incense. Welcome, welcome. This is Spiritual OG breaking it down for your Buddha. For your Buddha. Oh yes, the rainbow is here. The nation is cleared. Hello. Capricorn is here. Don't make me do the call. Don't make me. The lions in the zoo, you must watch out now for these streets now. You must watch out now for these streets. I run them. So if I do the Zulu call, the lions will come out. The lions will come out. OG's calling. Yes, OG is calling. Please, I had a conversation with the Sphinx last night. What are you talking about? You laugh. I was never funny, my brother. I was never a funny person. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just doing this quick video. We're going to be discussing tradition, rites of passage. Okay? And it has a lot to do with Gemini and Aries energy, okay? But interestingly enough, I felt the energy of Aries and Pisces. And the reason why I've been feeling Aries and Pisces lately is because you have the Alpha and Omega together. You have the first sign and the last sign, and they are in agreement with one another. Yes, my darling. The Alpha and Omega project. Oh, stop it. Don't make me write a book now. Pardon me, sip, sip. All right. And it's also coupled with Gemini energy because that's childhood energy. Okay, but it's also creativity within that element. Okay, now here's the thing with Gemini energy, okay, because it has a lot to do with your creativity. We practice and play the roles that we want to execute and fulfill in our adulthood, but we are lacking awareness when we're doing it. Okay. And this is why observation is important, particularly within your own family unit or a village. Because as a child, you lack self-awareness. And that is why you have elders to assist you and to assist you with your direction. Now, there's always a push and pull factor because there's boundaries that they implement. Now, this is important because sometimes during our childhood, we don't understand the containment, how they contain you, how they set up boundaries for you. But this is a way to, one, protect you, and also observe you. Okay. How do you operate? How are you able to use what you have within your environment and utilize it? Okay. Taking what you have, it could be a little, it could be a lot, depending on your situation in your household. But how much of the Houdini, the magician energy, do you possess? And are you showcasing within your childhood? This is very important, because that magician energy, it doesn't come to everyone. Some children show it at the age of 6. Some children only show it at the age of 16. And the longevity of that Houdini energy, that magician energy, is important and relative. Because the irony is, you can set up an environment, a habitat for your child, and sometimes in life, society will assign you a habitat. And that is when you're assigned a habitat, that doesn't encourage your growth. And yet you can execute your magician energy. You can showcase alchemy at the age of 8, and then improve it at the age of 10. And then by 13, the elders are sitting back in their chair saying, "Hi, bon." So they are seeing what you are capable of. And they are discussing amongst one another and giving recommendations about how the child should be reared until the appointed time where they have to take the training wheels off. Now, during this time in which you are going through your childhood, as you start reaching your teens, you are being trained for positions that they come across as far-fetched to you at the present time. They are bigger than what you are. Your feet are small, the shoe is big. Yet, you still haven't grasped the fact that you have been playing the part the whole time in your life. Because what you were doing is, you were doing recess in your bedroom. You were exercising and having fun in the playroom. But now the playroom has turned into the world. And now the position isn't one that you can put away in the box and clean up before you go to bed. You have to deal with it now for 24 hours, 7 days a week. And there's no mama and there's no baba. It's just you. Now, this is important to note because the Bible verse, when I was a child, I spank as a child. Now that I'm grown, I put those childish things away. Welcome to adulthood. But this is a problem that this generation struggles with. And they have time and time again showcased failure on their part. Because you can be a grown up, but that doesn't mean you are in the hood. You want that hood. Do you understand? Because that's part of the occult practice. That is secret knowledge in regards to mastery, in regards to your epitome of growth. You can't show how grown you are to everybody because they can't handle it, my darling. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Not everyone is privy to see how adult like you are, because not everybody can handle it. And that is why you cannot always reveal everything to everyone. Because why? They can't handle it. That is why there are private gatherings in Davas, private sets, fraternities, patriarchal systems that only solely you can be invited into. But here is where the mark is made. This is where you separate the boys from the men. In Zulu tradition, it is customary that while you go through the process of initiation, there is a release factor. The village releases you. As my late father told me, I have done my job. Now, for me particularly, I was devastated and happy at the same time. Birth and death have shaken hands. Because the good news was bad news. Because why? You have reached that mark. And so the elders tell you, this is where I leave you. And this is where you leave your childhood. And the Zulus are so serious about this that they burn down your childhood hut. So you see, son, you cannot come back. Your toys are gone. Your paper mache, your paper planes, my darling. Your paper planes, they are done. They were burned in the shack. Your plan, your little book, your notebook, that was burned in the shack. Your rags, oh my son, you went naked into the jungle. Your rags were burned too. You see, my son, this is where I leave you. So you must understand that you can't go back. Because if you do, there are only ashes there. So when you were playing with your paper planes, you were only rehearsing. That was a dress rehearsal. So I must leave you here so you can enter that gate. The bush, that bushy gate of chaos. And pray to the gods. You make it as a man. But the problem in today's society is that bitches come home. They run the home. And grandmothers are raising children. And children are raising their children with their mothers and their fathers. And then they yell about respect. I need my portion of the rent. What I am trying to tell you, son, is walk it like you talk it. We want to see that plane. We want to see you in that plane that you built with your mind, with your scrap paper. With your scrap paper. You couldn't even buy construction paper at CNA. Mama didn't have money for that. The uniforms, my darling. So you had to make paper planes out of scratch paper. But we want to see you on that Boeing 747 South African Airways. And it's your fault that you were bold to make it, because you saw trash and saw treasure at the same time. So when we say good man, we expect you to be in business or first class. That's your fault, because you found treasure in the trash. You did it to yourself. You put the bar that high, and we just watched. You made a believer out of yourself first in your childhood. But can you make yourself a believer in adulthood? Don't question our belief in you. We've watched you up close, and we've watched you from afar. No matter what the distance is, the love did not waver. There is no loss when the hut burns down and there's ashes. There is no loss when the heart is circumcised. You have been nothing but a rose that's been pruned. We watched your pruning. We participated in your pruning, whether you liked it or not. Because at that mark, my love, this is where I leave you. We expect more out of you. And yes, that is a pressure. But whatever you deliver, you will always leave us in awe. That is a guarantee. Always leave us in awe. So you must go into the world and not forget who you are. Those ashes, of course, are still beautiful, but you cannot travel with them. Because when you leave, the last vision you have is that roof on fire. It is what glows in the dark. When you walk into that jungle, you smell the smoke behind you.